How to avoid burnout as a streamer is what we're going to be talking about today. I've experienced burnout a few times in my content creation career, and lately I've been able to go ahead and focus. Every time that I experience a burnout, I learn something new to be able to help me overcome it, and I've been able to be consistent now for quite some time. And I wanted today to go ahead and share some of the things that I've done to be able to help me avoid burnout as much as possible, and especially since I have a lot of new streamers who watch my content, to help you guys along your journey so that way you don't burn out. So the very first thing, my tip number one, is to go ahead and focus on the why and the how. And when I say focus on the why, it's very important that you always come back to why did you start streaming? Why did you start this journey of content creation, to share your message, to be able to engage, to be able to inspire people? You have to really go ahead and establish and remind yourself of that why. Now, if you don't have a why, I talk about this in Streaming Branding Foundations to teach you how do you develop that why? How do you develop that purpose to be able to stream? But that's number one. Whenever I felt the need of wanting to stop creating content, I always came back to my why. Why am I doing this? Because I want people to have freedom. I want people to be able to grow. I want people to be able to learn how to utilize the tools to be able to create the life that they want, doing what it is they love, right? So I always come back to that, and that gives me energy to fire me up. Number two is that don't make streaming a part of your life. Don't make streaming your life. And early on, I didn't really acknowledge this, and I just made streaming the all and be all and end all. It's all I did. It's all I thought about. It consumed my whole life. And instead, what I started doing recently is just making streaming a part of my routine, right? Not making it a priority, but looking at my schedule, looking at your schedule, and understanding like, what is going to be realistic for me to be able to stream more consistently without kind of avoiding myself to say I have to stream every single day, I have to be doing this every single day. Just it allowed me to be able to have more peace of mind to know that, I'm going to stream when I can based on the things that I got to take care of in my life. And the things in my life are always going to be priority over streaming. So I think that that's super important, to make streaming a part of your life and not to make it your life. Number three is to go ahead and stay physically active. I think this is super important. When you are mentally active and physically active, you release endorphins that make you happy, right? So I make it a priority every single day to make sure that I sweat for at least 30 minutes. That can be a full workout. That can just be a jump rope. That can just be doing any kind of a physical activity, whether you enjoy walking, riding on a bike, all these things in here. I think it's super important for you to be active to avoid that kind of burnout, because burnout is caused by stress. It's caused by overwhelm. It's caused by feeling like you're not enough. And when you can focus on your physical self, I think it makes it a lot easier. And this is something that I went ahead and focused on early on, was to be active. And I made it part of my daily routine. Combining with that, step number four is to eat well. I think it is super important that you eat well, and to avoid that kind of burnout. When you eat the right things and you're eating good, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have more creativity. You're going to just feel better overall. And burnout is a big contribution to feelings and the way you feel. So eating, I make sure that I eat the right things every single day. Not every day can I eat perfectly, but for the most part, I try to eat as good as possible, because I understand that what you eat is also going to determine how you feel and how you respond and how you look and everything that's correlated to it. So that's something that I started to do as well. And with that, it's about like getting proper sleep. You got to get proper sleep, because if you're exhausted and you're tired and you don't have the energy, you're going to burn out. Why? Because you're pushing your body to the limit. So it's super important that you get the right amount of rest that you need to be able to make sure you can sustain the activities that you're doing every single day. I make it a priority to get 7 hours of sleep every single night. Now, I know not everybody has the luxury to be able to do that, but try to be more consistent in your sleep. Try to be well rested before you start your day, because that's going to help you be able to have a clearer mind, be more creative. And at the end of the day, remember, like, when you lack sleep, when you lack proper nutrition, when you're just constantly in a sitting down position for hours and hours and hours and hours, it's very hard for you to be motivated and driven to be able to do the things that you want to be able to do. And this is another tip here that I talk about pretty frequently, is to go ahead and stream less. I say this over and over and over again, that, streaming is a plus. It's not a requirement. I believe that, focusing on creating content, which is not easier, because live streaming is a little bit easier. You just got to go live. But at the end of the day, when you focus on creating content, it's at a more of your pace. You have more of an ability to stop and go. But don't stream every single day, because that's just going to require you to put out so much energy, so much stress. And this is what I say: if you can stream stream once a week, 2 times a week max, because at the end of the day, like I said, your growth happens when you're offline, not when you're online. And reducing the amount of streaming that you do is going to give you a little bit more time to have some more creativity, to be able to think about different things that you want to do on your stream, to be able to work on your stream, to be able to grow on it. But if you're just streaming every single day and then you're spending time every single day working on your stream, you're going to burn out. And that's one of the things you want to avoid, because when I first started streaming, that's all I thought about. That's all I did every single day. And it didn't lead to any more success. But when I actually reduced my streaming time to 3 times a week to 2 times a week, I saw more success, not only more energy into my streams, not only more people tuning in because they're not getting me every single day, but I just saw more success when I reduced the amount of streaming that I actually did, and it's important that you plan breaks and you announce them. This is super important. There's a big myth going around where it's just like, oh, if you just take a break, you're going to lose all your followers, you're going to lose all your viewership. And you do lose a little bit. It's totally fine, right? But when you announce it early on, you're able to go ahead and let your audience know. And when you let your audience know ahead of time, and I don't mean announce it like, hey, you're gonna take a break for 2 weeks starting tomorrow. That's not really announcing it. And you want to continue to announce it over a course of a period of time. Hey, don't forget, guys, from August 18th all the way to August, 29th, I'm going to be gone because I'm going to be getting married. I'm going to be traveling. So all of that's going on. And you just continue to go ahead and address that, because I think it's super important that you plan out breaks. Even if you're not going anywhere, it's good to plan a break, even for your stream, just to give yourself some time to say, you know what, this week I can actually focus on the things that I got to focus on. I can focus on building my stream. I can focus on doing things inside of the community. Taking a break from streaming is okay, because at the end of the day, you're human, right? And when people realize that you're human and you need to take a break, it's okay. So don't stress yourself about those things there. So another thing that I did to avoid burnout was to tweak things, do different things sometimes. Maybe sometimes just switch up your overlays. Maybe sometimes go ahead and simply, change the game that you're playing, change the topics that you're talking about, just spice it up, because it only that does excite you as well, but you also increase the opportunity to be able to get new viewership, right? Because you're switching it up. Your loyal followers are always going to be there for you just to be able to spend time with you. So switching it up sometimes does take you out of the routine, and it re-excites you about streaming and excites you about what it is you're doing. And again, I always say, come back to your why. Why did you start streaming? Why did you come down this journey? So that way you can stay locked in with that, right? Another thing that leads to burnout is trolls. That's 100% with it. So many times people can get burnt out because of trolls. Now, I'm a New Yorker. I grew up with tough skin. It's very hard for a troll to get under my skin, so I never really experienced burnout in that kind of sense, but I know people who experience burnout because of that every single day. They can't handle people coming in and just trolling them over and over and over again. It's mentally draining, because you're subconsciously thinking about yourself like, I'm not good enough. And one thing I got to tell you is that you got to build that tough skin. You got to be able to go ahead and understand that those people don't really have no kind of value in your life, and they can't control who you are as a person. So you got to build tough skin. And that's one thing that I recommend, is that social media, the world is very cruel. And if you allow that cruelty, because trolls are going to want to look for your insecurities. When you showcase that they're affecting you, they're just going to keep harping on that until they see you break, right? So again, remember that they're being that way not because of you, but because of some challenges that they're facing themselves that they don't want to battle. And instead of them battling the challenges that they're facing, they're coming after you. So again, remember, it's your live stream, it's your content, you're the leader of the show. So lead and don't allow that to be able to get you down, right? And with that, it leads to take care of your mental health. I think it's super important. How often do you see your mental health is super important? It's super important for me to every single day when I wake up to be able to go ahead and meditate, to be able to do my prayer and my Bible study, to be able to go ahead and work out, to be able to go ahead and eat right, to be able to go ahead and get my day started right. And when you can go ahead and establish that kind of focus on yourself, and you really lock into yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and you can lock in, it just makes tackling the day so much easier. So it's very important that you focus and listen to your body, listen to your mind. When you feel exhausted, when you don't feel like doing something, it's very important that you just adjust, because sometimes we get locked into this grind. We get locked into this opportunity of I got to go get it. I got to go do it. I got to go do it right now. If I don't do it now, it's not going to ever get done, or just feeling if I take a break today, I'm just going to fall behind. And you really need to understand that you got plenty of time. Run your journey. Stop running somebody else's. Stop competing your journey with somebody else. Just take your time. Take your breaks. It's okay, right? Building a business, building a stream brand, building something online takes time. And if for 365 days you miss 12 of them, you miss 30 of them, you miss 60 of them, that's totally fine. Like, you got 300 days that you hit it hard and you had 60 days that you missed. Woo, big deal, right? You still kept going. And the biggest thing that I say is just focusing on growth, focusing on you. Set time aside to be able to spend time with family. I think this is one thing that really helped me try to avoid the content creation burnout. Number one, have a schedule, have a routine. But at the same time, when it comes to check out, right? I spend time with my family. I spend time for myself. I spend time with friends and family. It's super important because you got to disconnect. And if you don't disconnect and all you're doing is thinking about streaming and content creation, you're going to burn out. And you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. So I hope that this has helped you understand a little bit about how you should approach content creation and streaming. We can talk about this all day long about burnout, but I'm going to tell you right now that it's better to be consistent over a long period of time than to go ahead and hit it hard and then disappear for a few months. I've committed to 1 video a week, 2 streams a week, and that's it, because it's manageable. I know I can handle it. I know I can keep going forward with that. And I'd rather do that for 5 years than to do it for 3 months and then disappear for 9 months, right? So stay consistent and put yourself around a community that can boost you up, right? So if you're not a part of the Discord community for the Curry Nation, join us. It's just a full community of just positivity, goodness, trying to see you succeed in those moments where you feel like you want to give up. Reach out to somebody, because the thing I wish I would have did sooner was ask for help. I wish I would have asked for help sooner for those people that were ahead of me, those people that have experienced the things that I've experienced. And then because I didn't ask for help, it was the reason why that I burnt out. So ask for help. We're here for you.